So, for decades, data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics has been used to argue policy and politics. But in the last couple of days, it's become a political target itself after a worse than expected jobs report on Friday, which had some downward revisions going all the way back to May. President Trump fired the Bureau of Labor Statistics commissioner. And today he went further, comparing the report to an election conspiracy. It's not sitting great with economists, and as Kent explains, it's not just because they rely on that data.
The numbers were ridiculous.
The president's firing of the Labor Statistics Commissioner after a rough jobs report on Friday turned a lot of heads. But when the president doubled down on social media this morning, calling the report rigged, it turned on alarm bells among economists.
Rigged? In the middle of all this, rigged? This is about the most outrageous accusation that anybody can make about the way the statistics are developed by these professionals. These are not statistics produced by a single person sitting at her desk.
U of M economics professor Vivi Chari says the Bureau of Labor Statistics has become trusted worldwide because it doesn't just rely on one person, and he's among many worried about the message the firing sends.
This one freaks me out as an economist. This seems political. This seems like the administration didn't like those numbers and fired this person for political reasons.
St. Thomas economics professor Tyler Schipper says answers from the administration so far haven't helped.
Do you have any hard evidence that these numbers were wrong?
Yeah, there is very hard evidence that we're looking at the biggest revision since 1968.
Are you going to present
if
that
you look
evidence?
at the number itself, it is the evidence.
Has the reliability of the numbers themselves been harder to gauge in recent years?
Yes. So in the last 15 years, it's not clear why, but fewer people are responding to the surveys.
Not only are fewer businesses and households responding to surveys, making employment data more unreliable, but fewer are also responding within the first month.
The reason you have revisions is you have that other 40 or 50% that have to send them in later.
Do you think that there could be a better way of getting this data out?
Yeah, there is. As usual, the better way involves spending money.
What it takes to improve those is a large bureaucracy of highly skilled economists and other financial experts that we've largely gutted in some of these statistical agencies.
That's why many, including the last commissioner Trump himself appointed, is now worried about what comes next.
I don't think there's any grounds at all for this firing, and it really hurts the statistical system.
I do think that whoever takes over this position needs to be well respected, and it needs to be a bipartisan appointment. Imagine next month there is a really good jobs report. There will be healthy skepticism after this event. And that skepticism of good economic data that the president would like to tout, is not going to go very far until you have people that are respected and believe that this process is free of bias.
It's that erosion of trust they're concerned about, and many will also be watching the reports themselves in the coming months to see if anything changes with how they are gathered, analyzed, and shared. I'm told even small changes to data collection are usually shared widely with economists who can then offer feedback. If that changes, or if the White House, for instance, starts requiring sign-off, well, that would be a huge red flag. Jana.
I just read, Kent, in the last 45 minutes, the Wall Street Journal published a piece talking about how this is scaring investors, too, because they rely on that data to make decisions. And it's got to be accurate.
Right, because there was a whole financial crisis in Europe when Greece, all of a sudden, in 2011, didn't report accurately, they said, their economic data, and that set back an entire region of the world. So that's what's at stake here.
Right, and that's apolitical. Thanks so much, Kent. We appreciate it. Be right back.